Ever since Fortnite released, as big of a gamehead I am since the Game Boy, and despite Fortnite being a massive cultural phenomenon, one of the biggest games in terms of popularity and one of the highest grossing video games to ever release, I've always struggled to get into Fortnite. I've downloaded and deleted it so many times over the years on so many different devices. Something about Fortnite just never really clicked with me, and that same something kept driving me to delete it over and over again. So I've decided to do a deep dive and break it all down pixel by pixel, frame by frame, in order to find out why I, and maybe even you, just couldn't get into Fortnite. I've decided to find out what Fortnite gets wrong and what Fortnite gets right. And keep in mind, this is all my personal, raw, unfiltered opinion. This video wasn't made to hate on Fortnite or make it look bad in any way. I have nothing against anyone who plays Fortnite or anyone that works on it. Normally, when I play a game for the first time, if I don't enjoy it, I step away from it and move on to something else and never look back. But I've kept coming back to Fortnite over the years because a part of me wanted to love it. But whenever I end up deleting Fortnite, I always have this lingering negative feeling towards it. A feeling of annoyance, and it's not about winning or losing, because I have it even after winning a battle royale match in Fortnite, and plus I never get this feeling even after a bad session of Call of Duty, even when I'm getting L after L. And I definitely don't feel this way when I'm playing against a diamond rank player in a fighting game and losing 50 times in a row back to back. So I'm gonna start out with what Fortnite gets wrong. First of all, I noticed that I just feel embarrassed playing Fortnite, and the only other game I've ever felt embarrassed to play in my whole life was Genshin Impact, but that feeling didn't last long for Genshin. However, in Fortnite's case, it's always been there and it's never left. This is just the surface, the bigger picture of why I couldn't get into it. So I wanted to know why I had that feeling of embarrassment. What were the elements of the game triggering that feeling? It became more apparent to me that a part of that feeling came from the sound effects. I'm a sound guy, yeah. I love audio. I love mixing music and sound effects. I love when a game has good, clean audio, and I think that the universal sound effects that Fortnite has are okay for the most part. The sound effects like wind when you're falling, the sound of footsteps when you're running, and even the gun sounds, they don't sound the best, but they're okay. But the sound effects that define Fortnite are the ones I find annoying for this specific use case. I find most of the sound effects in Fortnite to be extremely irritating. All the little beep sounds and honking sounds you can hear on the bus at the start of the match especially, and throughout the match, and especially that walkie-talkie sound. I don't even know what it is. I just keep hearing it and it's so annoying. I can't stand it. And I don't know what it is about the humming sound of the loot boxes. I just don't find them to be pleasant or attractive. I could point out each and every individual sound effect that I don't like for the use case in Fortnite, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna summarize it to say the sound effects that define Fortnite. I'm talking about the signature sounds you can hear anywhere in the world and know that it's from Fortnite. Those are the sounds that I just don't find satisfying. And if I was in charge of the audio during Fortnite's development, I don't know what I would have chosen like right now, but I'm 100% sure it wouldn't have been those sounds, or at the very least they would have been mixed differently. This kind of feels weird to say, but the art style of Fortnite itself breaks the immersion for me. I have never truly felt immersed playing Fortnite, especially considering the fact that you have characters with different art styles. For example, the anime characters or some of the crossover characters. It just breaks the immersion for me every single time. On top of that, the maps in Fortnite just feel dead. The world of Fortnite itself looks fake. Like, I don't know if that's what they were going for or if that's what they deliberately wanted. Like, if they wanted the world to look fake, as if the world's supposed to be some sort of game or simulation or something like that. I don't know much about the Fortnite world building and lore, and don't plan to learn about it, but I'm speaking from the perspective of a player who just turns on the game and jumps in knowing nothing about it. Art style is subjective, of course. Obviously, millions of people around the world love the art style of Fortnite. You yourself might love the art style of Fortnite, and I will admit it's different to what I'm used to, even though I generally like bright and vibrant colors in my games when it's done in the right way. Like, I love anime games, and I understand that a lot of people don't like anime and don't like the art style of most anime in general, but obviously Fortnite's art style is catching on because it appears more and more games are coming out with a seemingly Fortnite inspired art style, but the art style of Fortnite just doesn't click with me. I remember one of the first times I played Fortnite, and I remember everyone just spamming emotes and dancing in the pre-game lobby. It felt so silly. I remember that was one of the main things that drove me away from Fortnite back when it was new. And while I love the idea of music playing alongside an emote, it's just not something something I want to be exposed to when I'm about to get in the ring and take out my opponents. The emotes in particular are so unbearably cringe, and while it's not necessarily because of the dance in itself, I love watching dancers dance in synchronicity, but I think it's more because of the character models. I don't want to be chilling out and waiting for the match to start and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, Batman walks in front of me and starts shaking his butt or twerking or dropping it like it's hot. That's just such a vibe killer for me. As someone who plays a wide variety of games, many which have vehicles in them, I will say that Fortnite's vehicles handle in an unusual, or should I say an uncomfortable way. And I know Fortnite doesn't have an emphasis on vehicles, but other battle royale games like Warzone have simple driving mechanics. The driving mechanics in Warzone are easy to grasp. As a matter of fact, if you're a gamer, I would say that you've probably already grasped the basics of them before you've even driven a car in Warzone. That's because developers did not overcomplicate the vehicle gameplay mechanics. The driving mechanics in Call of Duty are similar to a lot of games you've probably already played, whereas in Fortnite the vehicles handle in such a way that the developers still want there to be an emphasis on shooting while you're driving. I'm not sure if they were inspired by GTA, but all I know is I don't prefer the way the driving mechanics have been implemented in Fortnite. I appreciate them trying something different, but as I've said in the past, innovation can make or break a game, or in this case a gameplay mechanic. And just to clarify, I'm talking about driving in Fortnite using a controller when I'm playing on my PlayStation using default controls. It's set up in a way that I don't find it fun or enjoyable, and it's something I would rather avoid entirely if I ever play Fortnite, or I would rather have a teammate drive. Moving on to some other gameplay systems I think Fortnite got wrong. I think the way to restore health and armor is slow and doesn't suit Fortnite. Usually whenever I'm trying to restore my health in Fortnite, I have to wait for some sort of animation to play out, and I think it just slows the game down a bit. I would prefer if my health restored automatically over time, but I still had to put on armor manually. Based on my time playing, I understand that there are more ways to restore your health instead of always waiting for a bandage animation to play out or drinking animation, but overall I find it to be cumbersome and clunky. I think I prefer a slow health restoration system in more serious and realistic games like Hell Let Loose. It just doesn't suit Fortnite in my opinion. I'm not the biggest fan of build mode or building mechanics in Fortnite, but because there's a no build mode, I'm gonna let that one slide. But building skyscrapers in the middle of a fight was one thing that drove me away from the game for many years in the past. On to the in-game store now. While it isn't really a part of the gameplay itself, it is a part of Fortnite, so I'm gonna have to touch on that as well. I think the skins in Fortnite are, you know, overpriced, but I think that about most live service games. And the fact that Fortnite is a free-to-play game and still offers better prices for skins than some of its free-to-play competitors, it might not be that bad in the grand scheme of things, but I still think it's bad because if skins were cheaper, if microtransactions were really microtransactions, more gamers would buy more skins in the long run and therefore maybe spend more money in the long run. But if Fortnite would make more money, that's a whole nother video, so it is what it is for now. I'm not gonna go too deep into that right now. Any character that comes to Fortnite as a crossover character, it's like they always get Fortnited, meaning they always end up looking silly or just missing something about them in terms of personality that they had in their original game or universe or TV show. Fortnite doesn't make me believe that characters are coming from their universe and into the Fortnite universe. I just end up thinking that Fortnite characters are cosplaying as characters from other universes whenever I see a crossover character. Not only do they break my immersion, but I feel like Fortnite doesn't need to have every character crossover into the universe. But at the same time, money makes those decisions, and if I made a popular character that Fortnite wanted to pay me $1 million to use, the only way I would say no is if I was a billionaire and didn't think the character would fit with the vibe of Fortnite. Now let's move on to the things that Fortnite got right. Gunplay. I like how the gunplay feels in Fortnite. Even though I don't like most of what Fortnite has to offer, I have to give credit where credit's due, and I will admit that I do like how the gunplay feels in Fortnite. I don't have an issue with it because I myself play a lot of the Division 2. I love third-person shooters, and there aren't really any third-person shooters that I can think of right now and say that I dislike the gunplay of. When I'm playing a shooting game, it's important for me to feel the vibrations in the controller, and I feel like I'm getting feedback from firing the guns, and I feel like the feedback is decent. I can usually play and enjoy it if that's the case. The gunplay isn't quite on the level of the Division for me, but it is okay. I'm not gonna say anything bad about that when to me it's totally fine. The recoil of the guns do enough to stand out from each other for the most part, and I will say that the guns have recoil I would expect from a game like Fortnite. The weapons in Fortnite are okay for the most part, you know, they're decent, and honestly I expected more goofy, more wacky, more weird weapons in a game like Fortnite. And sure, Fortnite does have some weird gadgets and weapons to use, but usually when I find a gun, it fires bullets and it doesn't fire lasers like Star Wars or Halo. and because I prefer modern weapons instead of futuristic fantasy weapons like laser guns, I gotta say Fortnite made the right choice when it comes to weapons. Fortnite has a variety of gadgets, and I think Fortnite does a good job in mixing things up a bit with the gameplay. Like, they have lots of items and gadgets you can use in the middle of combat, and I think it's nice to see something in a game situation where someone can pull out a trampoline or something you didn't expect and completely turn the tide of battle. Fortnite does a good job with the game modes that it has on offer. Ever since the Unreal editor for Fortnite released in March of 2023, Fortnite has given players the power and the tools to create brand new game modes to play on Fortnite. Pretty much any game mode someone can think of, they can make it. And with something like that being a part of Fortnite, it goes to show that Fortnite has grown to offer so many game modes that surely anyone, even me or even you, should be able to find at least one game mode that you just genuinely like. I'm still waiting for someone to make that game mode that sucks me into the game, but I'm not sure if or when I will see it, because I'm not sure how far it can be taken in terms of character models and running animations and things like that. But all I know is now it seems like Fortnite has an endless amount of game modes, and the potential to eventually get a really fun and addictive one is great. I like the way Fortnite uses colors to help players distinguish and identify the rarity and quality of an item or weapon. There are so many different rarities for items. It only makes sense that in a game where someone could easily end your match, you would want to be able to quickly distinguish and identify the best thing for you in that moment. Fortnite isn't the only game that does this, but I think they do it well. So if I picked up a weapon with an uncommon rarity and then I popped a box and found an epic weapon or a legendary weapon or an even higher quality weapon, basically I would be easily able to identify and pick it up. I wouldn't have to think twice about if this weapon is better or worse. I wouldn't have to stop, zoom in and examine every attachment. I can get right back into the action. But if a colorblind player decides to play Fortnite, they shouldn't have to worry, because it's becoming increasingly common to find colorblind settings in the accessibility menu of most games nowadays, and Fortnite isn't the exception. But for the most part, Fortnite does a good job with the loot overall, in my opinion. The best thing about Fortnite is that it's free to play, so anyone can just jump in and try it out, and if they don't like it, they can delete it. They don't have to run to the store and get a refund or anything because they just don't like this game or they just don't vibe with this game. And at the end of the day, not everyone is gonna like every game, not everyone is gonna vibe with every game. That's just the first thing about games overall. Some people like strategy games, some people like shooters, some people like action games. You get me? It's all about taste at the end of the day. And just because Fortnite doesn't click with me, it doesn't mean that it's a bad game or it's a terrible game. I just think that Fortnite is not for me, and that's pretty much why I couldn't get into Fortnite. But there it is, guys. Those are the things that I think Fortnite does wrong and Fortnite does right. Until next time, peace.